I'm John Sadler, President of Sadler Sports Insurance. We've been the officially endorsed insurance agency for Dizzy Dean baseball and softball for many years. I wanted to produce this video to help educate our Dizzy Dean prospects and clients on how to best access our web services for both insurance and risk management on our website. Our website has been totally redesigned so that you can quickly and efficiently access all of our services without ever having to speak to a staff member at Sadler. However, if you have a question or need help with a service request, we stand ready to assist you by either chat, email, or phone. So let's get started by navigating the website. Here's our homepage at www.sadlersports.com. Just go down to Association Programs and click on Dizzy Dean, and that will take us to the Dizzy Dean Insurance homepage. There are a small number of leagues that just don't buy insurance at all, or that only buy insurance for their tournament teams. If you fall under this category, you need to check out this section on the risk of going uninsured. I just want to hit on a few of the highlights. First of all, we insure approximately 50% of all teams within Dizzy Dean. That means that the other 50% is either insured through another insurance program, which can be risky, as we'll point out in a minute, or they could be getting their insurance through a municipal rec department, which can also be risky, or they just plain don't buy insurance. Now, what I want you to know is that significant injuries and related lawsuits regularly occur in the Dizzy Dean program, and our carriers pay out a lot of claims dollars. Now, here's some statistics about the accident and general liability claims. You can see here that we have the average claim cost laid out here, as well as the largest claim cost. Now, what I want you to also know is that we have other baseball and softball insurance programs where the accident claims have exceeded $100,000 and where the general liability claims have exceeded $1 million. Most of the common lawsuits and injuries that we see in Dizzy Dean mirror youth baseball and softball. We have our spectator injuries, which are typically slips, trips, and falls, or being hit by overthrown balls. We have player injuries, which, if they're serious enough, often result in lawsuits. And then we have a number of other injuries, such as coaches and staff injuries, that can also be quite expensive. We hear a lot of lame excuses for not buying insurance. I just wanted to touch on one of these. A lot of people believe they can't afford it. But if instead of looking at the cost of the insurance on a per team basis, you look at it on a per player basis, the cost will be as little as $4 to $9 per player for both accident and general liability, depending on the age group. And I think that you can pretty easily work this into your registration fees. There are 10 reasons why the Dizzy Dean insurance program blows away the competition and why you should buy from us as opposed to another local agent or from a sports insurance specialist. First of all, we're a single source for all of your insurance policies. So in just one fast and easy transaction, you can buy all the policies you need and pay for it once by either credit card or online check. Obviously, we have the group buying power to negotiate the best coverage at the lowest cost. Also, we have high limits on accident and general liability for your protection. In addition, we've added a number of custom coverage enhancements such as sex abuse and molestation and non-owned and hired auto liability. And in addition, we've eliminated a number of dangerous coverage loopholes that are commonly found in competing programs. Now, this makes us unique. We have instant, online, 24/7 quote pay print of the proof of coverage documents and the certificates for field owners. And this is very convenient because a lot of people like to wait until the last minute. Also, we allow you the ability to self-issue your own certificates of insurance for new field owners 24/7, which is also very convenient. We have best-in-industry risk management content, which I will share with you in just a minute. Also, our insurance obviously meets the Dizzy Dean rulebook insurance requirements for tournament teams, so you don't have to worry about being turned away at a credentials meeting and having to buy additional insurance. A lot of people don't know this, but when you buy through the endorsed program, you participate in an important safety study because your accident insurance claims data is captured in a reporting system, and we generate meaningful reports to your national board that will help them consider whether they should adopt additional rules or equipment to make the game safer. And finally, 98% of our prospects and clients rate our service staff as awesome for speed and effectiveness of response. I can tell you that we've implemented a ticketing system in 2013, so every service request is monitored by a manager. And I can also tell you that at the close of the transaction, we ask for the service staff to be rated. And this rating system causes the staff to compete internally for the highest grades. And that's to your advantage. I'd like to briefly hit on the coverage highlights of all 5 insurance policies. First is the accident policy, which pays medical bills on behalf of injured participants on an excess basis after family health insurance, if any, has first responded. Policy covers all your athletes, coaches, managers, officials, umpires, and volunteers. Policy limit is $50,000 and it's subject to a $0 deductible. And next is general liability, which responds to certain lawsuits alleging bodily injury, property damage, or personal injury, which is slander and libel. And most of the claims we see that arise from this policy are bodily injury to a spectator or a participant. The policy pays for your legal defense cost. In addition, it pays for any adverse jury verdict or settlement amount. The policy covers your league as an entity and the respective directors, officers, employees, and volunteers. Each occurrence limit is $2 million, and we have a $1 million sublimit for sex abuse and molestation and non-owned and hired auto liability. Now notice that there are some conditions attached to your coverage for sex abuse and molestation. It's required that you run background checks on all your staff with access to youth, and a description of exactly what you need to do is listed. Next is directors and officers liability. This policy responds to certain lawsuits that are not covered by general liability. Examples would include wrongful acts that you commit, such as discrimination based on age, sex, race, or handicap, failure to follow your own rules or bylaws when you make an administrative decision, and wrongful suspension or termination of your league personnel or players. This policy covers the league as an entity and the respective directors, officers, employees, and volunteers, and you can choose between a limit of $1 million or $2 million. Next is a crime policy, which pays basically for insider embezzlement of funds or unauthorized personal charges or theft of other property. It also pays in the event that an outsider steals your money and securities, and it has a $25,000 limit. And finally is the equipment policy. If your league owns a significant amount of sports equipment, field maintenance equipment, concession, or structures such as fences, bleachers, scoreboards, lights, and small buildings, you need to buy this coverage to protect against fire, wind, theft, and vandalism. Before you apply for coverage, there are several things you need to know about. First of all, you should always apply under the name of your league instead of separately applying under the name of your teams for maximum protection. If you apply separately under the name of your teams, there's no way to extend the coverages to your league as an entity and to your directors and officers. Second, you should buy accident and general liability insurance on 100% of your regular season teams before tryouts. You need to do this in order to comply with the Dizzy Dean rulebook requirements because your tournament teams will automatically be covered if you do it this way, and you'll sail through the Credentials Committee meeting. Also, if you host an official Dizzy Dean tournament, your policy will cover the hosting of the tournament. Next is don't try to game the system by underreporting the number of teams on your application in an attempt to save money. I can tell you that we, from time to time, have some leagues that do this, and what happens is when a claim is filed, the claims adjuster is going to compare the number of teams and age groups you applied for in your application versus what's listed on your website and social media, and if there's a discrepancy, you could have a problem with your claim being paid. So always report 100% of your teams. And finally, which of the 5 policies do you need? Well, most leagues really need them all. Without a doubt, you need accident and general liability. Also, most leagues need Directors and officers liability because we see an escalation of lawsuit types that are not covered by general liability. You need a crime policy if you maintain bank accounts and credit card accounts. And finally, if the league has significant equipment values at risk, you need to buy an equipment policy. You can find the rates for the insurance by scrolling down the page. Here are the accident and general liability rates, which are per team rates. These amounts can vary slightly from year to year. And here are the directors and officers liability crime and equipment rates, which are based on per governing board. If you want to apply for coverage, you should click on this link where you can get a quote, apply, make payment, and print off your proof of coverage documents and certificates for field owners in just several minutes. 96% of our Dizzy Dean clients apply online because they want instant service on a 24/7 basis. Very few want to print off the application and complete it by hand and send it in. Now, whether you apply online or by paper application, you'll want to permanently save the coverage confirmation email that we send back to you because it has important links that you'll need to print copies of your coverage documents, add delete team forms, and claim forms. It also includes a link where you can self-issue new certificates of insurance for new field owners at any time. Now, in case you can't find your coverage confirmation email, you would go to this section here, Service for Current Clients, and what you can do is you can enter your email address and you will receive a reply email back that will unlock your personalized links to handle all of these transactions. Scroll down the page and find our risk management content. This is the content that's most applicable to Dizzy Dean with a list of important forms, articles, and risk management programs. You can use this content to train your risk management officer, administrators, and staff on how to run a safer program and to reduce your liability risk. In addition, our templates allow you to document your risk management program and related policies and procedures in writing. Notice the sex abuse molestation program short form. This is a one-page program that you can adopt and implement to make sure that you meet the general liability requirements for this coverage. Also notice the concussion risk management program. Many state laws require youth sports organizations to have a concussion risk management program. You can click on this link here to find out the status of the law in your state. Now, if you're required to have a written program, you can easily adopt and implement this program to make sure you're in compliance. And finally, our basic risk management program can be used to educate your administrators and staff on identifying and properly responding to various risks at the ballpark and within your program. If you have any questions, please give us a call or visit our website. Thanks for your time today, and we very much appreciate your business and support.